sitting way in the back, if you can, please forward. Jigs, you owe me some stuff, man.
Always.
Because I'm up here, I'm not gonna say it, all right? Is that?
Wife.
Welcome, man. How are you? He's a nice guy. We love him dearly. He's tremendous. Yes. I'm kidding, of course. You know he is. No, I'm kidding. He's awesome. All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome. How do you guys like this room, huh?
Yeah.
Isn't that great? I love this room. And by the way, how do you guys like the ladies of Latte?
Yeah.
Like I said, they told me that I was going to be doing training for the ladies of Latte. And then last week looked more like the men of Latte because there was more men than women. But now you got some more women here, so that's good. Yes. And we men like women. So bring more women. Yes. Bring them young, bring them old. That's what bring them young. I don't care, just bring them. Yeah, we got to actually grow the group tremendously. So please, talk to all your people. Thursday nights is Ladies of Latte night. Next Thursday, I will not be here because we have another event scheduled. You guys will continue, but please promote the event to all the ladies. One of the things that I love about this business is that everybody has an opportunity. And that's really, really important, you know, and there's a lot of women out there. And I gotta say this because my mom came to this country when I was a little kid. I was actually 6 years old. She brought us all to this country, and my dad had just passed away. And when she brought us here, he was already here working for McDonnell Douglas. So his vision was to bring all his kids to grow up in this country. That's why we're here. And when he did so, he died. You know, and my mom finished his dream. She brought us here. We grew up locally here in a city called Southgate. Now it's called South Ghetto. Beautiful place still, though. But, you know, she raised us here on her job, which was part-time at a high school. She used to be the high school server. She served the food at the cafeteria. That's why I had a lot of friends, because they would all come and get extra food. But she also raised us with three things. Shackley, which is an old company from a long time ago in the 70s. A company called Stanley, which was a soap company. And another one called Prince's House. And if it wasn't for those three companies, we wouldn't have had, you know, the great life she provided us. And I gotta tell you, I really appreciate this industry. I love it tremendously because with that, she was able to raise us. She had 10 kids, and she took on the responsibility of completing my dad's dream, which is bringing us here, raising us in this country, and obviously making sure that we were provided for. Never remarried, and she did it with network marketing. Isn't that awesome? It's tremendous. I love this industry. This is one of those things where you really can't really see what we're talking about unless you begin to meet some people like that. And I know there's a lot of ladies out there that wish they had an opportunity. And it's up to all of us to make them a part of this. And it's up to you guys as well. You guys are here for a purpose. You're not here just because. Imagine, it's a Thursday night. I mean, you could be doing better things. But the reality is you've listened. You know, there's a higher power out there that has you here as well. I believe that firmly. And I'm not just saying that to try to convince you to do this business. I'm saying it because it is the truth. The reality is, now that you're here, listen. We'll talk to some folks. There's some people that really need this. And I know that you can hook them up, bring them out here. We'll teach them, we'll train them, we'll show them what to do. And on top of that, we'll provide them with all the information necessary for them to advance so that they can do something with themselves. Not everybody is born knowing. I haven't met one person yet who was born walking. I'm not sure about you guys, but the reality is you're able to crawl. You know, then you get up a little bit and you take a step or two and you look kind of weird, but you're a little baby, don't really make fun of you. But yeah. If you do this today, you look like you're drunk, you know. But eventually you start walking, and then eventually you start running and going a little faster. That's something that is also in business. So there's folks out there that require the special attention and training, we provide that. So know this, Ghetto Life's mission is to actually help empower others in what they need in life. Our mission here locally as a team is to give everybody the space of honesty, integrity, and clarity. So when people that come in to see this, they understand what we're talking about. We're not just trying to pull the wool over their eyes, showing them another company just so they can try to make some money. By the way, we don't use that word here. It doesn't exist. We're actually here helping people, showing them how to make some money. We're here to teach them and empower them with what they already have as skills, because everybody has skills. You just haven't realized them yet. And showing them how to actually get ahead and advance in life using this simple product. How many of you guys here drink coffee? Raise your hand. Or know somebody that does. How many of you guys drink tea? How about chocolate? How many of you guys take a bath? Not everybody. Why do you always lower the head when I ask that? How many of you guys brush your teeth? See, that's what we're up to. We're offering and we're selling things that are common that everybody drinks on a daily basis. It's part of what's called the daily food basket. Everybody goes shopping on a weekly basis and they pick up all these items, you know. I was talking to a friend of mine who's an economist, and that's basically what he explained to me. Most people end up buying a lot of things all the time. Rice, sugar, flour, milk, cookies, coffee, you know, salt, pepper, oil, chocolate, you know, if you're Mexican, tortillas. You know what I mean? You buy these things every single week. So that's what we're into. We're into the daily food basket kind of stuff, which is to make it very simple for you guys to do this business. Very simple for you to share it with people and actually make money. And thereby making this super duplicatable. Because if you can do it, anybody can. All right. So I want to tell you a little bit about me. My name is David Gonzalez. Like I said earlier, I was born in South America, in Ecuador. And I came to this country when I was very young, and I grew up here in this country. I speak both Spanish and English. I'm a father of 2 children. I'm a grandfather of 2 granddaughters. I haven't told you guys that, huh?
No.
My son is 32 years old in July.
What?
You guys didn't know that. Isn't that crazy?
Good job, Grandpa.
My granddaughter is going to be 17. She's 16 right now. Yes. He did the same thing I did. Yeah, he duplicated his father. He got to 17. Actually, I started early. You know, I was in high school and I met this girl and then she got pregnant.
Right when you look at it.
I had something to do with that. Actually, we fell in love and we were together for many, many years. We were together for 17 years and then we divorced. But we have a son and of course he's the one that has the daughters now. So, you know, I grew up in this country. When I first got started, and this is my story, I tell people, you know, I went from a child to a man in an instant. It was like, boom, boom, that's it. It's over for you. You know, I went from a kid that went to school to a man that went to work. You know what I mean? It was really weird. You know, I went from somebody that was always playing in a house, you know, and doing things around the house as a child to, you know, a man that had to be responsible, had to go to school, and then go to work at night. It was a shock, but I did it, and I did it very early. And then after that, I started getting different jobs, and I got good at a lot of things. I became a computer programmer, and eventually I moved up in the world. I was a supervisor, and then the director of information services. I ended up working for a company called Paramount Studios at the very end. And I had just left the company that was actually called Orlandi Valuta Foreign Exchange. Orlandi Valuta actually was a money transfer company, and they sold it. They sold it. I got them from doing 5,000 wires a month to over 125,000 wires. The man sold it for 150 million to Western Union, a division called First Data. Yes. So when I saw that, I got a $25,000 bonus, and the owner made 150 million. I said, there's something wrong here. You know, I did all that work and created the system, because that was what sold. And I got 25,000. I quit the industry. I left corporate America. I did get a job temporarily at Paramount, and in 6 months I met a guy. This guy said to me, hey, you know what? There's a man that I know. He makes $35,000 a month. I said, wow, isn't that great? 35 grand a month. I said, man, this is cool. So I went to see this guy. You know, at the time I wasn't making that much. You know, I was making actually much, much less than that. And when I went into this room, I sat way in the back. I listened to him speak about network marketing. You know, I was sitting way in the back with my arms crossed like this, and I was negative. You guys know any negative people? Yeah, I was like him like that, dark. And I had this funny face. I thought I knew it all. You guys know anybody that knows it all? Yeah. Somebody that just says, no, I've done it all, I know it all, I went to college, I know. That was me. I was sitting in the back, I was judging this man, and as I was listening to him, I was hearing something that I've never heard before. He was talking about how to make money in this country. He was talking about how to get rich and how to start your own business. Things I've never learned in college. You know, when you go to college, they don't teach you how to become a business owner. They teach you business, but they teach you how to get a job. This guy was teaching me how to start my own business today and how to get out there with the mindset to actually make it successful and really make some income. I mean, I was like back there astonished as I was listening to. He started talking about, you know what, people in this country, you know, they actually make money with three things that are very common. One, you got to use other people's efforts. Write that down. You got to use other people's money. Write that down. And you got to use other people's ideas. And I was, oh my God, this is amazing. All my life I've been taught the opposite. But this guy's telling me I got to use other people's efforts. He started explaining how that happens. He says, you know what? In America, you have a lot of businesses that have started and the owners have used other people's efforts all the time. You're talking about, for instance, a man that starts his own business and he has to hire employees. Maybe you guys work for someone right now. Nothing wrong with that. That person that employed you, the owner of that business, is using your efforts. It's just great. He started talking about how to use other people's ideas. How many of you guys used to copy somebody in high school? Be honest. You're doing exactly what this man said. Use other people's efforts. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just take somebody else's idea, do the same thing, and you'll have that result. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I wasn't taught that. My mom would teach me stuff like, son, don't copy. Be original. Come up with your own ideas. I go to this man, says, you gotta copy. You don't need your own ideas. Just find a good one to make it better. You know what I mean? I was hit with all these realities listening to this guy. He says, you gotta use other people's money. Now that one was weird for me. How many of you guys were taught the opposite? Don't steal. No, I'm kidding. Don't steal. But what's crazy is that you gotta use other people's money. In other words, you gotta involve others in your endeavors to actually get big. Nobody has made it rich in this country by themselves. You know, so I'm learning these things. I'm sitting in the back of the room and I said, you know what? I love this. I'm in. That was back in 1994. The man that was in front of the room, his name is Al Thomas. Later on in life, I was working for telecommunications. It was called Excel Telecommunications. This man made 1.2 million a month, every month, for 3 years consecutive. How many of you guys are game? $1 million a month? Hey, that's my goal in this company, $1 million a month. You know, this was so amazing. When I heard this man speak, I thought, I can do what he's doing. This is so easy. I just kept listening to him, and in a year's time, I actually got the courage to do my own meeting. I didn't do it right away. But I sat, I listened, I paid attention, I took notes, which is exactly what he said. And as I did that, I learned so much that I started to help people by what I've learned, and ever since then, that's all I've been doing. And that's what I'm here to do with you guys today. As time has gone by, I've gotten into different companies. I've gotten involved in a few. You know, some companies fail you, and in other situations, some people fail you. How many of you guys have had that experience? Because, you know, we're not perfect, we're human. So that happened to me. As that occurred, I began to look for other things. I found a few different things out there, and then those things didn't go that well. And it just so happens that all along, I've been looking for something that's really powerful and strong, but I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna stop this network marketing, and I'm gonna do real estate. How many of you guys were involved in real estate industry? Raise your hand. The rest of you are a bunch of liars. No, I'm kidding. A lot of people were involved not too long ago. You actually asked that question before, the whole room would raise their hand. They're all in real estate, somehow, some way, shape, or form. The thing is this, I got involved in real estate for about 6 years. We did really well. My wife and I had 7 houses, 4 cars. I had 35 employees. Back in 2007, I was at the top of the game. As a mortgage banker, I had a whole lot of people working for me. I was not a broker, I was a mortgage bank. It's very different. The whole thing came crashing down. So I started looking for something to do. I lost everything. They picked up every single one of my cars. I told you guys that story last time. What's funny is this though. I started listening to friends of mine that were in network marketing again. Because real estate had gone down. And we didn't know what to do. We were involved in this company called YTB. They sold airline travel, in the travel business. And we started listening to a bunch of people because they said they had the answer. So one day this guy comes to my office and says, Dave, we're gonna get rich. I said, cool. This is what I have, man. Everybody wants it. Everybody needs it. We're gonna make a lot of money. I said, what are you selling? He says, you will never believe this. We're selling feminine napkins. I said, this is a network marketing? He said, yeah. I said, oh, I can't do that. I could imagine myself in front of the room and this is the towel and this, no. I will not demonstrate that product. He says, no, we're all gonna make money, everybody. I said, nobody uses that, only women, and it's once in a while. He goes, I'm gonna leave you a couple of boxes so you can try them. I said, how do I try these boxes, man? He goes, look, get one, you put them on the soles of your feet, it has a magnetic strip and it sucks all the toxins out of you. You're gonna feel really, really powerful. I said, no, get that stuff out of here. A week later, a friend of mine comes by and says, Dave, we're gonna get rich. Another one. I said, oh my God, what is that? He says, man, this stuff is so great. We're selling cell phones. He says, you could see the person that you're talking to and they can see you. I said, man, that's hot. I want one. Give me an application. I filled it out. I said, when do I get my phone? He said, I don't know. I said, what do you mean? And you just charged me $99. He says, well, I don't have one yet. I says, how long have you been involved? He says, I've been involved for about a year almost. What? I said, how many people do you have in your business? He says, I have about 2,000 people. I said, wait a minute, let me get this straight. You're charging $99, you have about 2,000 people, nobody's gotten a penny or a phone? He said, no, but it's coming. I said, what is the name of your company? And it's in Spanish. He said, it's called La Promesa, the promise. I said, keep going longer. Just the name alone, they're fooling you with the name. Listen to it. I looked it up online. Sure enough, lawsuit, all over New York and Miami. I said, no, I don't want to get involved in that. And then all of a sudden, this one guy that I never listened to, but he always called me about something different. You guys know somebody like that? Like this week they're selling this, and the next week they're selling that? That kind of a guy. How many of you guys know somebody like that? How many of you guys are somebody like that? That's better, see? This guy called me and he says, Dave, and this time he didn't sell me anything. He just said, Dave, out of all the people that I know, you're the only one that doesn't even finish his cup of coffee, and you pour yourself some more. How many of you guys are like that? I mean, I drank 1, 2, 3, 4, but before I know it, I drank 5 cups. I said, wow, that sounds hot. He goes, yeah. He goes, last time we went to Las Vegas, you told the lady at AM PM, here's $20 for number 16, but charge me for this cup of coffee. How many of you guys do that? You buy gas and buy coffee. I always used to do that there. So he says, you know what, you gotta check this out. So he came by, he brought all his products, I tried them out, and guess what? I fell in love with them. I said, this is great, it tastes really good. And then he said, this is good for diabetes, high blood pressure. He says, this is good for people that have arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, different things. I said, this is good. You know, my mom has diabetes. So I gave it to my mother, and to make a long story short, it worked on my mom, it worked on my sister, and they're both diabetic. My mom went down from 400, 500 to 175. My sister went down from like 200 and 250 to about 110, 105. So I thought, this is great. But then I gave it to my friend, Al, and he'd been a high school friend of mine. We played football together. Al was a little bit more different. He had a prostate issue. And the way he says it is his prostate gland was the size of 2 baseballs. And in 1 month, it reduced it completely, and he didn't have to have an operation. We were just talking about it. Mike was with us. He was saying, you know what, Dave? This reduced my prostate gland inflammation. My diabetes went down. I got rid of my high blood pressure, and I lost weight. I was down. I went down from 31 pounds. And I said, Al, it's okay. You're already in the business. He said, no, I got to tell the story. He says, I have a CT scan, CAT scan in this folder, an MRI, and an appointment for an operation. I canceled it. I was like, oh my God. I thought I was going to get rich with the diabetics. I said, prostate gland guys, I'm going to become a millionaire. There's a lot of men that have this issue, but they don't talk about it. They're just very silent. They're very macho. They don't want to tell anybody. So I figured, I'll make some money. You know, I'm 48. I got friends of mine that are older than me, friends that are younger than me, and they have this problem. So I've been passing it out, and everybody's been getting really good results. So that's why, you know, I said, I'm going to do this full time. And I started doing this business, and the more and more I started doing this particular company, you know, I've been so grateful to God because we've been able to help so many people. We've come out of where we were. We lost everything. We lost every single car. We went down to 0 money. I mean, it's bad when you have no money and you're broke, and then you know you're broke. But to have made it and have a lot of stuff and lose it, that's sad. That's where we were. But you know what? We made it back again. We got it all back. Thanks to Gamma Life, we've been working so hard. It's been about now almost 4 years. And we've gone from 0 to over 192,000 people last week. My wife and I are back up to 1.5 million a year. You know, and I don't say that to impress you. I say it to impress upon you that we can do it. And one of the things that I've been doing is basically just a very simple training, which I learned from this man named Al Thomas. His training way back when was so simple. If you don't catch it on a really good day, it'll just go like this. You're like, I heard him, but I didn't get it. And that's because it's so easy. A lot of us want to make things hard. We want to make it difficult, because if it's not difficult, it must not be worth doing it. Does that make sense?
Right.
You know, if I gave you something to do and it's ABC, you want to add naturally in your mind X, Y, Z all the way through whatever. Just because your mind says it's got to be hard, or else this can't be working. The reality is, in our industry, and you want to write this down, you want to keep things simple.
That's right.
Write down KISS. That stands for Keep It Simple, Sweetheart. My upline used to say, keep it simple, stupid, but I don't want to do that. So keep it simple, sweetheart. Keep it simple. Keep it as easy as possible, and guess what? It's gonna become something that is doable for everybody. We call it simple and duplicatable. The more you keep your business like that, the bigger you're gonna grow. And then the more people you're gonna be able to reach that will do the same thing you're doing. As a matter of fact, I gotta tell you, who inspires me the most in network marketing is my mother. And I gotta tell you, every person I talk to and I look at their faces, I see my mother every time. Because she raised 10 kids, no English. 10 kids, bought a house, raised a dog, English. And she doesn't serve a hand. As a matter of fact, you know what? My mom made sure we all went to college. Every single one of us. And I'm the last one. I'm the last of 10. And when I see what this industry did for her, I know anybody can do it. If she did it, anybody else can do it. You know, she was like the epitome of a lady that just got here that needed something, and then the opportunity was there. She took it and made something big with it. And she did well. You know, she didn't make millions, but she was able to really keep us in everything that we wanted to do. Football, sports, and everything in school and all around us. So, you know, I know that if you keep your business easy and simple, ladies or people like that don't have a lot of information are gonna be able to make this business happen. So along the way, we've adopted a training that actually also helps you, which is called transformational training. I'm not sure if you guys heard about this, but there's a big movement right now regarding transformational training. It is a training that specifically hits home, and it really gets to the root of the matter, meaning to say it gets to where the problems are. And in many cases, when we find out there is a problem in our lives, where do we point? The spouse, the kids, the house, the this, the that, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the other man, the other woman. Just kidding. We point everywhere. We're like, but you know what? In transformational training, what we teach is you are the cause of everything that happens around you. You're the creator of your life. You can have anything you've ever wanted in life and have it go exactly the way you want it. Did you guys hear that? Yeah. You can have anything you want in life ever and have life go exactly the way you want it. Nice. Yeah. And you know, we've combined the trainings that we've made and done before with network marketing, and we're teaching it with transformational training, which is where we left off last week. How many of you guys can tell me where we left off last week exactly? What we finished talking about? Edison T. This was talking about the beating, right? For those of you that were not with us last week, we actually went through a small exercise where we taught everybody how they could actually figure out today what is happening with them. Today, in your lives, who are you being really? And what is really happening with you? We asked all of you, and there was a lot of adults here, right? No children under 18? Just one, okay. We asked everybody to please go home, lay in the bathtub, get a glass of wine, sit down and relax, and think. Who are you? Like really, we actually dig down deep inside and write down what are all those bad things about you? What are those things that stop you? What are those things that don't work for you? What are those things that appear all the time in your life that is you being a certain way that don't work in your life? And we talked about many different things, right? We talked about, did some of you write that down? Really quick, so I want to just recap on last week so we can continue with this week's training. We talked about, there's just certain things that don't work. For instance,
mean, moody, lazy, upset.
Lazy, mean,
Upset, tired.
moody, upset,
Jealous,
tired,
procrastination.
jealous, procrastinator, regret, backstabber. Oh yeah, somebody said stinky. What do you got to take a shower? Negative. What else did we talk about?
Jealous.
No energy.
No energy. Yeah, that was one of the big ones. People like no energy. It actually turns physical too. It really does. There's people that their way of being in life doesn't work to the point where it just attacks them physically as well. You know, it's just one of those things that happens to a lot of people. For those of you guys that were not here last week, does anybody have one that doesn't work for them? Put to speak. A way of
Just
being.
Huh?
A way of being about you that just doesn't work. Like this, something happens and you react, and that
Anger.
angry. That's a good one. Anger. That happens quite often. How many of you guys have been angry? If you didn't raise your hand, you're a liar. I'll ask the question again. How many of you guys have been angry? Please raise your hand. You're probably angry right now because I asked you to raise your hand. It's just a way of being. You know, we're human beings, and on a daily basis, we're being a certain way.
I got one.
Yes.
Doubt.
Doubtful. Doubtful is the actual way of being. So yeah, that's a good one.
What about low self-esteem?
Low self-esteem. Well, that would be confidence, because we actually had confidence in there, remember? So insecure what it was. It was insecure. So this is how our training went last week, because we were also teaching about transformation. So the first homework was,
Make a list.
do your goals. How many of you guys have your goals now? Okay, good. Share them with your upline. Read them to yourself. Make sure that you make them, believable, actually doable. Do your goals, 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year goal. Share them with your upline. What do you want to do? In mind, how do you want your mind to be? What do you want to educate yourself with? What do you want to read? What do you want to know that you haven't done so far? It doesn't matter, any books. I mean, it could be motivational. Mind, body. I don't know how your body looks or how you want it, but you can make that better. That would be very good for you. Make that a goal also. Spirit. We talked about, doesn't matter what religion, we're not here to preach that, just get close to your creator. And then the fourth one, finances. So in the mind, body, spirit, finances, the only one we have something to do about in your life as your upline or as people that can help you is in the finances. Because if you tell us we want to make XYZ amount of money on a monthly basis starting next month, and then every month after that makes this much, and then after 1 year I want to start making this much, we know how to put 2 to 2 together and then design this business around that income so you can actually hit these goals to make that happen. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that was the first homework. What else did we ask for as homework the very first week?
List of 100 people.
Yes, make a contact list. Anybody put a contact list together? Raise your hand. Good. How old are you?
16?
Let me shake your hand. A 16-year-old makes a contact list. How many of you are in your list?
About 3 or 4.
3 or 4? For those of you that are not 16, if you don't have more than 4 people on your list, shame on you. No, but we took an 18-year-old and we created a list of about 100 people, right? Exactly about 106. So you can work with people that think they don't know anybody. So that's what the whole exercise was about. Putting together a list, because a list is an inventory for your business, which you're actually going to make work for you and help inform them and touch, move, and inspire them with what you have with this business so they can actually introduce you to others. We made that very clear. And then we actually, after the list, we also did the goals. And then last week, our homework was to, work on this team. Because your job was to actually take all of this after you sat down and listened to yourself. Okay, what's the ways of being that I have that just don't work? And how can I change that? And how can I make an impact in my life and positively move forward from here on forward with a new way of being? So you would replace doubtful with confidence. And this is what the exercise was. You would replace insecurity with confidence. You would replace anger with happiness or being happy. You would replace lazy with active, and mean with, and moody,
Level-headed.
passive, level-headed. That's a good one. This is just ways of being. This is just a practice, okay? Upset with.
Happy.
If you're upset, but you're no longer upset, you're
Calm.
content. Content. Tired. Energized. Jealous.
Grateful.
Gratitude.
Secure.
Secure / grateful. Procrastinator.
Doer.
Doer. That's a good one. This is pregnant? No, regret. So it looks like pregnant. Regretful or regret?
Grateful.
Grateful, okay. Backstabber.
Front staff.
Loyal, stinky,
Bad.
clean, negative with positive, no energy with energetic, right?
Yes.
So this is just an example. Now get this. This is the crazy part about this whole situation. This is you. And really get it. But it's not just this. See, you are a series of ways of being that on a daily basis appear. And when they do, it is a description of your character. Now, why does this play a role in this business? As my friends next door in Spanish would say, what does this have to do with the price of beans in Mexico? A lot. Because you see, you're expected to recruit people and invite them into your business. You want to touch, move, and inspire them into what you're doing today. But to do that, you got to make that invitation. And to make that invitation correctly and to have it be successful, you know, it takes a lot for that person to look at you and say, okay, let me go hear it. Sometimes, as you're creating that invitation, you're being in this area. Imagine you're talking to this person and you know you got to do this, so you're just being lazy about it. You know, in your mind you're being mean about someone and you're thinking about that in a moody way. You're upset and tired and you feel very jealous over somebody else that's really being successful. And you're procrastinating this thing because you really don't want to do it. You're regretful you haven't done it yet. And by the way, you know what? You're a backstabber. You're talking about the guy that's, you know, right next to you. And you smile. Most of all, you're negative and have no energy. Would you guys want to sign up with somebody like that?
No.
No. That's why we've adopted the transformational aspect about, you know, life and added it to our training because it makes it so much more interesting and exciting. It's enough for me to tell you, you got to do something in life, right?
Yeah.
Come and do this business, check it out with me. I've done it, I'm making $1.7 million, you can do it too. I mean, it gets anybody excited. But give them the key to open that door. That will really motivate them. It's like, good, how do I do that? Come to training. Let me teach you something that you haven't learned yet. You can actually literally have everything you ever wanted in life. All you gotta do is just change it to a way of being that you haven't been before. It's like you're stepping into a realm that's so new. You've never been there. It's a whole brand new realm. Imagine you're always lazy and all of a sudden now you're active. You got sweats on, you want to go running, you're like, oh my God, I'm usually asleep by now, but I'm so active. You know what I mean? It's weird. You're like, where do I run first? You know, you don't know what to do, you know? Imagine you're always mean and upset like my sister. All of a sudden you're nice, and you're liking everybody. You're shaking everybody's hand, like, how are you? Even that smile hurts because I am always I have to smile now. You know, this is what we talked about last week, you know, and I want to just go in here first before we continue into the money part of it, because you see, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, me teaching you about money, if I don't cover this a little bit.
Right.
Because how much money will you make if you were in this area? Pretty close to zero. How much money would you make if you're being active, nice, level-headed, you know, you're content, you're energized all the time, you're very secure, you're a doer, you're always making things happen, you're being very grateful about what God has given you and given others around you, you're loyal, you're clean, and on top of that, you're very positive and energetic. Who wants to sign up with somebody like that?
Yeah.
Everybody. And a smile on your face to boot. You know, it's just so crazy when we talk about this industry, usually other people frown at it. But the only reason why they do is because nobody has stepped up to the plate and says, hey, get involved with me. We're going to teach you how to do this business.
Yeah.
We're taking it a step further. Get involved with us. We're going to teach you how to do this business, but we're also going to teach you something special. There's a way of being about it that really works all the time. And if you're that way, every time you talk to somebody, you'll be successful. Isn't that awesome? Because most of the time, the biggest failure in this business is when people talk to someone and that person says no. They tell you no, and then what happens? And you walk away. And your airplane calls, so how did it go? I don't know. He said no to me. Everybody do this. Put your shoulders down. Take a really deep, slow breath. Don't you feel awful? You know, there's this thing about posture. Somebody tells you no, right away you get into that one. You know, this is giving you a shield. So every day somebody tells you no, bam, no kidding. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. You know what? I hope God really blesses you with what you're looking for. If this is not for you, thank you for coming. See you later. Your upline calls you. How did it go? Oh, it went pretty well. Somebody said no to me. You know what? A no is just one step closer to a
Yes. Yes.
You know, that's why this training has a lot to do with this industry. Most people don't get that every single no you get is one step closer to a
Yes.
Why do you guys give up when you hear a no? Some of you don't even want to get involved in this as much or that strongly like others because you're afraid of that no. You know, and this will give you a permanent shield. And it's just a way of being. It's a way of being about you that doesn't really matter what the outcome is. You are being the correct person on a daily basis for yourself. Everybody say for yourself.
For yourself.
Not for others. If you do it for others, what's going to happen is you will fail at it. If you are these ways of being for yourself, you're going to be really successful because on a daily basis, you're going to check it. Now, it's not going to happen right away. We talked about this last week. It will not happen right away. If I was to ask how old each one of you were, with the exception of the gentleman here in the front row, I'm going to get some numbers above the 20s, okay? But get this, if you're 30 years old, it took you 30 years to be who you are today. Don't think you're going to be that perfect person tomorrow in one day. It took you 30 years to be that messed up person you are right now. So, what we're asking for is something simpler than that. It's like a muscle. First you lift, barbells that are 5 pounds each. The next day you step it up and you do 10 pounds. The next day you do 15 pounds. Yeah, you might not be here all the time. You might snap into your regular mood, but you know what? You're conscious of this now. Now you're present to the fact that there's a way of being that really works all the time. Everybody say that works.
Works.
In this business, there is no right and wrong. There's things that work, and there's just things that don't work. That is all. We talked about right and wrong last time, right? There is no right and wrong. Don't get into that trap. It doesn't exist. There's just things that work, and there's things that don't work. So you're 30 years old, you've done a lot of things that really don't work, you're mostly on this side of town. Well, guess what? Now you have the opportunity to change it. Completely transform and be in this area, but like a exercise on a daily basis, practice it. Be conscious and be present to this. Write them down. That's what we asked you guys to write them down yesterday. And I know there's some that are mostly present than others. Take those moments when that one pops up to say to yourself, okay, remember you guys were taught to breathe and just count to 10? Now you're breathing, count to 10 with a purpose. Okay, that one's coming up. All right, I can't be mad, I gotta be nice. See, that's when you get the opportunity to just exercise that muscle and be that new way of being, and then now you get to see the results that you're gonna expect that are totally different than before. Because usually something happens, you react, and then boom, right there you snap, right? And guess what? You hurt people's feelings. Someone got mad. You yourself got upset, and then you walked away. Who won? Nobody. Now you get the chance to stop, count to 10. Oh, that was one coming up. Okay, boom, I can't be tired. I gotta be energized. All right, let's get this done. Put a smile on your face and make it happen. We're gonna get more into this as we go, because the whole thing takes about 10 weeks, and it talks a lot about transformational training. And we decided to actually today talk about the money. And before we did, I wanted to actually share with you guys some stuff that has got nothing to do with money, although this doesn't either, what I just went through. This was last week's homework, and if you did it, awesome. If you didn't do it, please do it. And if you're new to this class here today, go home and try it. Also, you can go home and drink that wine, sit in that tub, and think about it. Because this is personal. This is not like something you want to share with people. I'm a lazy person. No, thank you for telling me that. You want to, share that, moment with your spouse or by yourself, and just be honest. Like, tell on yourself. Remember when you were a little kid, you're telling on others? Tell on yourself, but do it to yourself and write it down. And then later on make that analysis, and then just go ahead and just create new ways of being around that. And believe me, you will be so empowered by the fact that there is a way out. There is a way of being that you can actually adapt to and then completely create new results in your life. We'll get into that some more later on. Before I go any further though with the money, there's a chapter on a favorite book of mine. You want to write this down. The book is called Think and Grow Rich. Okay, this book has a chapter, which is chapter number 1. And that's what the chapter is called. Now, we suggest many books here. And there's several books that you should read. This one, I would call it required reading for network marketing. It doesn't teach network marketing. But one thing it does teach, it teaches you to open up your mind to a mindset of business. And what's amazing is that in this country, we don't use this book like it's used in other countries. Next to the Bible, listen to this, next to our Bible, Think and Grow Rich, which is the name of the book, has been written in the language of practically every country of the world. It is required reading in some colleges in some countries, and it is a whole curriculum in India. The reason why India is just shooting up to the sky in business. This is one of their books in curriculum. It's amazing. You go to some of the Asian countries, they use Think and Grow Rich, and they use one called The Art of War, which is very powerful. I'm sure you guys heard it. You might want to write that down. Sun Tzu is the actual name, I think, of the book, right? The Art of War. It's an awesome book. But you know, this one, Think and Grow Rich, was written by a man named Napoleon Hill. He was a small-time reporter who was hired by a very, very rich man. And Napoleon Hill wrote a book, and his book actually took 30 years to investigate. You guys get that?
Right.
It's not like they said to him, write a book. It was okay, I'll write it tomorrow. No. Napoleon Hill, in 30 years, interviewed multi-millionaires, super, super rich people, kings, queens, and noblemen. He learned the rich part from the richest of the rich. And then he interviewed the poor. In his book, he wrote why the rich people are rich and why the poor people are poor. How many of you guys want to know that? Buy the book. $7.50. Think and Grow Rich. Go to Barnes and Noble. It's an awesome book. Tell you, it's very easy reading. It's very easy reading. And you know, this man took his time, and in 30 years, he composed all this information. The original book actually is a very thick, huge book. Now we have it in paperback. But you know, he summarizes in all the chapters. The very first one is the one that I love the most. I wanted to give you guys this as a gift. It's called Thoughts Are Things. As you read that, you're like, oh my God, isn't that true?
That's right.
You know, because whether you like it or not, whatever you're thinking about is what you're creating in the moment. And it kind of goes with your way of being that we were talking about earlier. You know, a lot of people don't understand that your mindset has a lot to do with making money in this industry. As a matter of fact, I would venture to say it has a lot to do with making money in any company. Because if you don't have the proper mindset, you're not ready for that. You really are not. And the reality is, in network marketing, a lot of companies do not apply any kind of training towards this specific subject. Your thoughts.
Right.
Because whether you like it or not, those that think they can, they will. Those that think they can't, they won't. Those that say, I'll try, they'll try forever. No, seriously. They'll try forever. I was listening to my friend, her name is Gonzalez, she's sitting next door. I was listening to her talk to this young person yesterday, and she was telling that lady, you got to get rid of that word from your vocabulary. I've done it. Try, don't use it anymore.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a what do they call it? A diluter in your life. It's like putting more water in your coffee. You know, it makes it taste like less. That's what your life looks like too when you use the word try a lot. You know, your thoughts are so important. You got to protect that stuff, man. Seriously. When we talked about goals, that was the first thing we talked about. You got to make goals on mind, body, and spirit finances. The mind, that's the one you want to take care of first, right away. Read the right things. You know, listen to the right people. How many of you guys have gone online and looked at some stuff that you want to listen to? Not Beyonce. All the single ladies. No, single ladies. Look for Napoleon Hill. You can actually find him for free. Look for, what's the famous one that everybody goes to? Oh my God, his name is right to my tongue. Jim Rohn. Everybody looks for him. It's free. As a matter of fact, there's a book out there called The Science of Getting Rich. You get it on audio for free. There's so many things you can listen to that will put different thoughts in your mind regarding business to get you that proper mindset. Thoughts are things. Whether you like it or not, whatever you're thinking about, you're creating. Whatever you're present to right now in this moment is what's going to happen in the very near future. You can create whatever you want. Your thoughts are the ones you need to control. If you're thinking that you can make a huge business out of this opportunity, it will happen. If you're thinking you're going to be able to create a huge organization, talk to many people, and be in front of a room and teach others, it will happen.
That's right.
Thoughts are things. You got to get that. It's so present to me right now. If you are thinking about something that's going to get you somewhere very, very far, whether it's in this business, in this industry, in your school, in your job, wherever, it's going to happen.
Nice.
The problem is, we're not there all the time. Now, we're thinking about Kobe making that jump shot.
He's out.
Yeah.
No more. He's out.
He's out?
Yeah.
Tore Achilles.
9 months.
You see
Tore
how much I
Achilles
watch
tendon.
TV?
Oh, you guys
I
are
have
playing
no clue what
full
happened to that man.
That's the only one.
I just know he makes like $100 million a year.
You're hoping Dwight will
Right?
make a slam.
He makes $100 million.
Steve.
He makes more than 100. He makes a lot of money. You
He's
know,
weighs
and we don't watch
30.5
him.
million next year.
You know,
Oh,
this
nice.
man, every day, he's thinking what?
Basketball.
Basketball. Basketball. You have famous tennis players. What are they thinking about all day long? Tennis. You got very famous people with football. What are they thinking about all day long? Football. Now you get people involved in network marketing. What are they thinking all day long?
Network marketing.
No, they're thinking about some other stuff. They're thinking about, did I leave the iron on in my house? Is my house gonna catch on fire? You know, your thoughts are just not what your business is. It's amazing. You know, did I leave the stove on? Is the food gonna burn? By the time I get home, it's gonna be smoke all over the place. You know, you gotta get that. You gotta get in the right mindset, but you gotta train yourself to actually be there. This class or this training that we give is a very basic training. It's called the basic for a purpose because a lot of people that come with us, they say, you know what, everything you said I already heard. I'm like, okay, now put it to practice. You know what I mean? It's like, you heard it, but why ain't you doing it? And the thing is this, it is so simple, it goes right over people's heads. That's why we ask you to write some stuff down. Because the more you write it down, the more you get used to seeing yourself in there. Some people are very visual when they learn, they see and then they learn. Others are auditory. You tell them stuff, they pick it up right away. Not me. I have to write it. Because when I write it, it writes in my brain somehow. It's amazing. When I tell people thoughts are things, I ask them what we were talking about the other day. It's like, I don't remember. Their mind is not here. You know what I mean? You gotta be present to what you're learning. So knowing this now, that thoughts are things, understand as we go through this, thoughts will come to your mind in the compensation plan. Grab onto them. There's ideas that you're gonna have as soon as you hear how the compensation plan works. People are going to come into your mind as to who they are to you, that you can put them in this opportunity that can make you a lot of money. Grab onto that, write them down, make sure you get those people involved. You see, those are the thoughts you want to grab onto. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Those are the thoughts you want to put to practice right away. You know, you don't want to get out of here thinking about something different. Keep thinking in that frame of mind. And then work on that way of being when you go visit these people and work in front of them and talk to them personally. Now, we're going to leave this up here, and in the meantime, we're going to talk about the money. Now, I'm running really fast because I know we don't have a whole lot of time. We start after the presentation, so I'm probably going to take about 15 more minutes of your time. I want to teach you guys the compensation plan in a very simple way.
Nice.
But it's going to break it down into details. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you have a piece of paper, please write down what I want to show you so you understand our compensation plan, okay? Write it down, please. A lot of people tell us that we have what's called a binary system. It's not so. Our compensation plan is nowhere a binary, not at all. Our compensation plan is actually a hybrid system. Meaning to say, it comes from two places. We definitely do have a binary, and that's on one side. The binary is just basically the way our system operates, where we put one person on the right, one person on the left, and then we have to create and we're responsible for two teams. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you're new, understand that we're not asking for much, just two people. On the other side, we have something called the personal enrollment tree. The personal enrollment tree works like this. This is you, and then you enroll people, and the computer sees everybody that you have as if all front level to you. Some people call it the uni level. That's all the computer sees, all the people that you brought into the business. So let's say you have 3 people on your right and 4 people on your left. That's a total of 7, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's how the computer sees them. But how it looks on your binary is very simple. You have 1, 2, 3. Over here you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 plus 3 is 7. So on your left and on your right, you have people which you placed. You brought these people, so you personally enrolled them, and you put them there. Now, these people that you have, they also brought some people. So they have to put them on their right and on their left. That's why you have people that are on your right and left that you didn't bring, because they brought them. Because this guy put somebody on his right and somebody on his left. And then there's people above you that will put somebody on their right and also on their left. Is that beginning to make sense?
Yeah.
So our binary basically is what goes into your right and your left. Also, it is a system of payment. We get paid many different ways in this company. I'm going to show you a few. I want you to know that there's several. The first one is with sales. You can actually buy product and sell it for an increment of 60%, up to 60%. Now you can make a lot of money in this company just buying and reselling, because a lot of people that resell don't make more than 20. You guys know that? Some people are lucky to make 30 or 40%. We actually give you the opportunity to, in personal sales, you can sell the product for up to 60%, which is quite a bit. You can make pretty good money with this. Secondly, we also pay what's called an upfront commission, so an upfront bonus. The upfront bonus comes on a weekly basis, just like everything else. Sales, you can do every day. Our business is made so that you can work Monday, I'm putting lunes for Spanish. Monday through Sunday, and at 12 midnight is the cutoff. So whatever you did Monday through Sunday at 12 midnight, that's your week. Then it is calculated the following week by accounting, and then it is paid the following week on Monday. Some people get it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But if you start working with us today, and you don't stop, and you keep on working every single day from now on until the end of this year, every week you get a check after the 3rd week. Because the first week you work, the second week you actually get calculated, and you get paid. Then when you were calculated, you worked, and then you actually get calculated on this one, and you get paid, and then so on and so on and so on. That's how this works. So we get paid weekly. The upfront bonus comes weekly. Also, the binary. There's a binary called the upfront binary, which gets paid weekly. Then we also have what's called a residual binary. This also gets paid weekly, but it's of the people that have been in your business for more than 7 weeks. So this is a monthly residual. We also get paid a matching bonus. Matching bonus is when you get paid when somebody else got paid, you get paid a share of their check. Isn't that cool? So let's say you have all these people in your team and everybody got a check and you get a piece of their check. Would you guys like that?
Yes.
It's awesome. That's how we get paid. It's called a matching bonus. And they actually match their check. You get paid on their check from 2 to 10%. It's a floating bonus. It grows and it expands and gets smaller depending on how that week went for the company in payments. We also get what's called a 4% global pool. So in this company, you will get paid 4% of the entire sales of every country, and that 4% is shared by everybody that is a triple diamond and above. Now, triple diamond is a position in the company which you obtain as you move up in the pay scale. You become different positions. Triple diamond happens to be one of the senior positions. Once you get there, for all the sales in the US, you get paid from a 4% pool that's separated on a weekly basis. So every week they yank 4% out and they divide that into a pie and they pay all the triple diamonds. Isn't that cool? Now you get paid that off of the US, and then all the other 9 countries of the world. Which means that whether you have people in those countries or not, if you made it to triple diamond in the US, you get paid from each one of these countries. So that means you get 10 checks a week. Which means that in 4 weeks, you get how many checks? 40 checks a month. And if you and your wife are working together like me and my wife, and we're already there, we get 80 checks. But we each have 2 positions.
Dang.
And we're
160.
gonna be making 160 checks. I'll show you that money, that's really cool. I'm telling you, I'm here for $1 million a month, and it's coffee. That's the part that makes me laugh, and we're selling coffee. Funny, but we get paid very well for that. We also get what's called a power bonus. The power bonus is actually pretty cool. The power bonus is this: if you enroll people in your team, and in a month's time, you happen to enroll 7 of any of the 3 different packs that we have, you get paid a bonus. On the top one, which is, it's called the X3, it costs $995. You get 7 people to enroll in that one, your power bonus is $1,000. Yeah, we have people that just do this full time. They're making those $1,000 every week. They're making $3 to $4 grand a month. Just the power bonuses alone. So that's pretty amazing. I'll get into that in a minute. And then we also have trips, which means in our company you get paid trips. So it's not like you get to go on this trip if you do a certain number of volume. It's like once you do this volume, you're paid a trip. It's like mandatory and a must, so you gotta go. The first one is called the platinum trip, and that's for people that become double platinum, and you get to go there and learn how to become diamond. Isn't that cool?
Nice.
Yeah, 80% learning, 20% fun. The second trip is a diamond trip. This year is going to be to Punta Cana, República Dominicana, Dominican Republic. We're going to be right on the water. It's going to be right in the month of November, October of this year, and it's a very beautiful resort. The water, the ocean's so blue, it's incredible. All the diamonds get to go to this one, and that one is 80% fun, 20%, meetings. We'll have one meeting. I probably won't. But they have meetings. Anyway, I want to be glad fun. But the other one is for the platinum, so you can become a diamond. So it's awesome the way that the company pays, because it's not just off of here. People think we have a binary. It's not a binary. It's actually a hybrid program. The only thing paid from the side that's called a binary is the upfront binary and the monthly residual binary. All the other things you see there are calculated off of the personal enrollment tree. Some of you guys probably didn't know that. This is where the money comes from. It's pretty incredible. That way the company doesn't miss a penny. Let me give you some illustrations so you can see how this works, live and in person, okay? It's actually very simple. You get involved in the business, okay? This is your business center here. And as you do, you start enrolling some people, you put somebody on your left and somebody on your right. That simple. When you first get started, let's say you enroll in one of the bigger plans. It's called the X3. Each one of these plans that we have pays you a certain amount of money and also gives you volume that you can actually make money off of. So let me show you. The X1 is $195. It gave you about $200 worth of products, okay? These are products. And you get about 100 points when you enroll somebody at an X1. And you get paid $25 as an upfront bonus, this one here, for everybody you enroll at that level. And you get paid 12% commission on the upfront binary when you have people in your team. So let's say you are actually at an X3, which is actually a bigger pack than this, and you enroll somebody at an X1 and somebody here at an X1. There's 100 points here and 100 points here. You get paid 12% commission for those 100 points, which is what? $12. Plus you got paid 25 for this guy, 25 for that guy, which is 50 plus 12. You didn't do much. A couple of people spent 195 just to try the product. You made what? 25, 50, about $62. Not bad. And then every month, these people are going to try the product at a minimum of $50. Now write this down somewhere. The minimum auto ship, which is basically how much people come in for on a monthly basis, is 50 points. In our company, the point system is kind of wacky. They buy 600 and they get 200 points. Not here. Here is dollar per points. So next month, these two people here buy $50, right? And that's all they buy. Well, guess what? Off of those $50, next month, you get 12% commission. Does that make sense? So you get half of that, which is $6. So you get paid from everybody in your pay leg, a total of whatever commission is awarded to you, depending on what pack you got. You also get, and this is for 6 weeks, by the way. This is for 6 weeks, which covers the first month and the second month. After the 7th week, you get 10% plus 5, depending on what position you're in, and that is actually called the residual binary. So this is month number 1. Month number 2, they're doing $50 each, right? So that's month number 2. That's probably 6 weeks. The seventh week and beyond, these same two people buy another $50. Now you're going to get paid 10% commission. And then as you move up in volume, you move up in rank. Meaning to say, the very first one is called the star 50. Then the star 300. Then the star 1000. Then you get to the position of platinum, right? Then double platinum. Then triple platinum. Then diamond. Then double diamond. Then triple diamond. Then crown. Crown diamond. Then double crown diamond. Then triple crown diamond. Double crown diamond. That's where I'm at right now. On the first page. But you know what though? I started right here. You gotta start somewhere. And then you bring your mother and your sister like I did. And then you bring a couple of friends. And then you bring your wife, and then my business got big. No, I'm kidding. My wife came in, and then I started to work her spot because she didn't want to do this business. She was doing something else. And she said, I don't want to do that. I said, okay. So I brought the product to the house. And you know where you guys have the coffee pots and all that stuff? I put all the boxes right there, and I opened them. And then I would actually leave, and I would watch her. And she actually tells the story really funny, because every morning when we would wake up, I would go to my, to the kitchen and make myself a cup of coffee, and I would walk back to the room. Because I didn't want her to see that I was watching her make herself a cup of coffee after she told me no. Yeah. But every day she would wait until I went to work, and then she would go there and she'd start drinking the product every single day. Then she started grabbing stuff in the boxes, putting it in her purse. And she would go to my kid's school and pick up my daughter at 12 o'clock from kindergarten. And then everybody would say, what is it you're drinking? She was drinking coffee. Well, we're drinking this coffee. She started passing it out. And everybody started liking it. Other women said, you know what? My chemical imbalance every month, I'm really mean and moody and I want to kill my husband. I don't want to do that anymore. What happened? What did you give me? She said, well, this product is very good. It works on that. She's a natural salesperson. She would explain to them what this product does. And she would give it to another lady. You know what? My diabetes went down. I was doing really bad. Now it's really low. What did you give me? And she started explaining to them about that. All of a sudden, she came home with this, hey, I need to know about your business. I said, cool, I'll talk to you later. And I had to leave. And the next day I said, hey, I need to know about your pay plan. Okay, cool. When do you want to hear it? She goes, well, let's do it tonight. We would leave and then never even talk about it again. One day she grabbed me and says, I need to know how much you guys get paid. And tell me more about your business. I said, okay, you're in luck. I went to the car and I had this easel pad, right? And I put this big old Post-it pad on my wall in the kitchen. So I have them all around the kitchen and also the dining room. And I started doing this because I was kind of an amateur back then, so I was writing all over the place. I mean, I'm good at math and I love numbers, so I broke it down for her. I showed her everything. She said, I don't get it. I didn't understand any of it. She said, all I understood is that people buy $50 and I get 10% commission. I said, yes. She says, if I get 10 people and I have 500, I get 10% commission? I said, yes. She said, if I have 1,000 people and they all do $50, I'll get 10% commission from that? She said, I said, yes. She said, okay, I'll do it. That's how she got involved. She didn't understand any of this stuff. She just got this. She said, if I can get 1,000 people in other businesses, you know, that sold makeup and a whole bunch of other companies, then I can get 1,000 people to drink coffee. And I said, of course. And then she got involved, she brought all her friends, and then that's the story. You know, so we both have two separate spots, and we're both pretty much right now at the same position, because I wanted to make sure we're here together. And I gotta tell you, if you guys are married, you have your wife, you have your spouses here, please do the business together. It really does work. Because the people you know, she knows, or vice versa, and the people she knows, you know. And if you were able to work those two spots together, just work the opposite side, and you make a second check. So for the same people, basically, you make two checks. Why? Because in our business, the whole volume on one side counts for everybody. It doesn't matter who comes in. All this volume counts to everybody on that side. All these people have to do is work the opposite leg. So they only get to work one. Why? Because this is where the deal's built out. I'll explain that in a minute. But this was so awesome when I showed it to my wife. She started telling her friends and so on and so on. Then I got a few friends on my opposite side. I worked with this guy named Lavelle Scotton. And then Lavelle brought Miss Lorianne Hayes, and then after that came Mr. James Wiggins, and then that's all she wrote. I mean, on that side, got really big and populated. We started working with more people, and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. But it wasn't me anymore telling the story. It was everybody else telling the story, because everybody got moved, touched, and inspired, and they were showing people how easy this is, just by sharing with others about the product and about how much money we get to make. That's all we do. Because we only do two things here. We teach some people how to make some money, and we teach others how to actually get better with their health and through this product. That's all we're doing on a daily basis. And doing that every single day, our business keeps growing and growing and growing. In your case, though, you're here to learn how to do this business, and I gotta say this, my way. So, I'm gonna show you guys what you need to do as leaders. See, we're training people on a fast track so that you can get it right away. And I'm talking about big money. And that's what I want you guys to understand. The way to qualify for your check is to have one person on the left and one person on the right so that you can begin to make a check in this company. So write that down. You come in, you select the plan you want, and you put one person on the left, one person on the right. Also, personally, you gotta put yourself on a minimum of $50 on a monthly basis, what's called an auto ship purchase. Because an auto ship purchase on a monthly basis, even if you don't have one person on the left and one person on the right, will help you keep a bank. Our company has a bank, meaning to say your left and your right, all the people that are joining your business, if you brought them or not, is banking all those points. And you can actually get paid off of these points when you have one person on the left and one person on the right. And if one leg goes really big and wild and the other one stays small, guess what? As long as you're buying $50 minimum on a monthly basis, you're banking all that volume, which is awesome for this. Because I have a lot of companies that I know in the past that, believe me, you know, doesn't matter what you do, people come in after a certain point in time, they just flush all your volume and you never get paid from that again. On one of my sides, I have 29,700,000 points. Bank. Thank you very much. But I gotta work my butt up on the other side to, you know, collect those points. But how many sides do I have to work?
One.
So I got friends from these other companies, right? I got a really good friend from this company called Melaleuca. And they gotta get 8 people. And they work off of 8. And then they do 8, that have 8, that have 8, that have 8. And then you go up into the positions, you know, right? And they always josh me around about this business because it's binary. I said, hey, I got 2 legs to build. One of them is done. So how many do I build now?
One.
Well, you gotta do 8. But this is so simple, you know, thank God, and God is willing, you have a huge leg built up that you only have to do 1. Or thank God you have a person that you're working with in partnership, that you can both work together, and one says, hey, I'll work on this leg, and guess what? Then you work on that leg. You know what I mean? It works perfectly that way, or you both help each other out. Now, you gotta have one person on the left, one person on the right, and then your own auto ship minimum of how much?
$50.
But you guys are not on the same program. You guys are on the fast track program. all the leaders that I work with personally in Espanol, I ask them to get on the $100 auto ship. This is the reason why. When you become platinum, to get paid as platinum, you gotta have $100 auto ship. That is a requirement in the company. Now, that $100 in auto ship will be good for platinum all the way to the highest crown diamond position. There is no more buying. Believe me, this is awesome. It's a God's gift from heaven. There's companies that require 200, 300, 400, up to 650. I have friends of mine in Amway, they tell me their auto ship is $650 a month to get a check for $1,500. Yes. We don't have that here. Minimum 50, maximum how much?
100.
Yeah, and it's not a whole lot of boxes. Each box is $17, and if you brush your teeth, take a bath, and drink coffee and chocolate and tea, you're done. That's $100 right there. You know what I mean? So it's really very, very simple. Now, so I just covered the requirements for the left and the right, and also the auto ship. So let's say you have, you personally came in, and you have the X3 pack. Let me show you what that is. The X2 is actually $495. You get over $500 in product. You get also 250 points for that person that signs up as an X2. So this is an X2, this is an X2. There's 250 points here. You got paid $75 for signing up an X2, and now you're at 15% commission for the volume that was generated. So that's how this looks. You're an X3, you got an X2, you get paid 75. This one's an X2, you got paid 75. There's 250 points here and 250 points there. Times 15% commission is how much?
$20.
Anybody want to borrow my computer?
$37.50.
This is 25, it's $37.50. So you got $37.50 here. Then you got 17, 10, 18. $187. You signed up 2 people, you made back $187. The first week, you brought in these first 2 folks. That's simple. Next month, what do they have to buy? $50 on a monthly basis, or $100. So they're already in your team, they like the product, they're trying to copy. Now, if you have an X2, you also get paid 10% commission plus 5%, depending on the position that you actually obtain. To get more commission on a monthly basis, you go to platinum, you get 1% more. Now you're at 11. When you go to double platinum, you get 1% more. Triple platinum, you get 1% more. Diamond, you get 1% more. Double diamond, 1% more. So that's a total of 5%. So you can honestly say that in our company, when you come in at the biggest pack, which is X3, you get paid 20% up front and up to 15% on the back end. Now, if you come in with an X2, you get paid 15% up front and up to 15% in the back end. And believe me, that is a whole lot of money. Because I know companies that on the back end only pay 4 or 5 or 6% after every purchase people do on a monthly basis. We are the highest paying company on a monthly basis based off of the people's auto ship. And by the way, the auto ship is smaller, which means we have a whole lot more folks buying this because it's coffee. So our checks are much greater. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's pretty awesome. So this is the way the plus 5 works right here. Now, when you get into an X3, which is what you have here, it costs $9.95. You get about over $1,000 worth of product. Now it counts 500 points for that purchase, and you get paid $150 up front for each person you signed up that's actually an X3. And now you get paid 20% bonus for the first 6 weeks of anybody signing up and any purchase they make, and you get 10 plus 5. So how does this look? Very simple. In this particular case, these 2 people here signed up with an X3. You have an X3, so they sign up at an X3, you get paid 150, another 150. There's 500 on the left and 500 on the right. At 20% commission, how much is that? $100. So for signing up 2 people at an X3 and you personally have an X3 yourself, you get paid $400. Folks, I know people that work all week long and make $400 a week. This is just bringing two people to a 2-hour meeting here, sitting down and you're selling them coffee. You know, simple? I mean, it's not that hard at all, it's not rocket science. Now, that's how we get paid the upfront bonus and also the upfront binary. What happens is, these two folks here, next month, are gonna buy either their $50 or their $100, right, on a monthly basis. And you're gonna make a commission off of that at 10 to 15%, depending on what position you obtain. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. It's that simple. Now, I'm gonna also talk to you guys about this here, which is called the power bonus. The power bonus looks like this. Now, this one is pretty exciting, guys, because this one, man, it's making a lot of people crazy right now. Let's take the example that I gave earlier, 7 people. So you have 3 on the right, and you have 4 on the left. Everybody came in at an X3, the biggest pack. What happens? This power bonus works like this. This power bonus says if you have 7 people at an X3, at an X1, you get paid an extra $250. If you have 7 people that come into your business at an X2, you get an extra $500. If you have 7 people at an X3, you get an extra $1,000. This is the way this works. I love this part, because this is the part that everybody in my team is working for. If you're on my team, please start working for this. This is really exciting. For each person, you get $150. So 150 times 7 is how much? 1,050. So right away, I gotta tell you, these are all your personal recruits, and they came in at an X3. You made $1,050 just off of the regular upfront bonus. Then each one of these positions gives you how much in points? 500, 500, 500 for a total of 1,500. On this side, you got 2,000. 500 times 4, 2,000. 5, 5, 5, 5. So which one's greater? I mean lower, 1,500 or 2,000? In our company, we get paid off this the volume of the lesser leg. Here it's called the pay leg. Some people call it the small leg, the short leg, whatever you want to call it. Just know that the one that has the lesser volume, that's the one we get paid off of. In this particular case, you're gonna get 20% off of the smaller leg, which is 1,500. That is a total of $300. But because there's 7 people and they all signed up within a month's time. Now, by the way, it's not a calendar month. Let's say you joined the business on the 1st of April. Today is what day? 15. 18. Today, this is your first X3 that you signed up. Today is the day that your 30 day starts to run. Isn't that cool? So it's not from the day you started, it's from the date that your first recruit came in at that level. So you got an X3 here. So today on the 18th of April, on the 18th of May, you have the last day to sign up the last X3. So you sign them up on the 18th, her on the 19th, her on the 20th, him on the 21st, then him on May the 1st, May the 3rd, and May the 5th. So all these folks came in within the month period. You get $1,000 power bonus. That's what this is called. This power bonus now gives you the opportunity to have $2,350 on signing up 7 people. Now, this was going to blow your mind away. We have folks doing this 2, 3, and 4 times in a 30-day period. There's a gentleman here by the name of James Wiggins who committed to doing 50 X3s. He only made it to like 37. It's not that bad. The guys that are next door in Espanol, one of the men signed up 70 X3s last week, actually in 2 weeks. That is, if I'm not mistaken, $10,000 just on the power bonus. Now, this is so crazy. The guy that brought him, his first 2 weeks made $4,500 each week, just on the volume that was generated alone. And that guy just started a month ago. So I'm telling you, this stuff is real deal. It's not like pie in the sky, someday maybe, hopefully if you behave correctly. No, it's like you're doing the business right now. It's like you getting to work, calling some people that want to be touched, moved, inspired by what we're doing. And by the way, at the end of the day, what did you sell?
Coffee.
Coffee. Something that's different. They're just changing their brand to something that's got a nutrition in it that obviously is gonna help them with health. Now, if you think about it, you might say to yourself, well, I'm so young, I'm only 20-something, who am I gonna get that needs to be healthier? Well, guess what? I gotta tell you, the majority of the people in the world are not young people. It's the baby boomers. Yes, people like me. I was born in 1964. Get this, a baby boomer is somebody born between 1930 and 1963. Okay? Now, in that span of time, all these people were born to huge families. My mom had 10 kids. I'm the last of them. That's why this is called the baby boomer era. People that were born in that space of time had a lot of siblings, 10, 12, 15, 16, 17 children in their families. Nowadays, we have 1, 2, and the oops. I have an oops. My name is Millie. She's my sister. How many of you guys here have more than 5 or 6 brothers and sisters? Raise your hand. How many of you guys?
I have 5 siblings.
5? 11? Oh my God.
6.
6? Anybody else there? 11. I actually had I had that question. I asked it in Fresno. One man raised his hand in the back, and I said, how many are in your family? He says, 21. The Mexican guy, yeah. They don't 15, 16, 12. 11 is kind of like average, 9 to 11. In that span of time, people were born to huge families. Now, it ends in kind of like 1963. I was born in 64. Just to give you an idea, I'm 48 now. So baby boomers are actually people who were born before me. So if you look at it this way, the majority of people in the world are either 49, 50, 51, 52, 60, 65, 70, 80, even up to 90. So if you're just getting started with us today, you're thinking, who do I know that needs help? Hello, baby boomers, they're all over the place. Doesn't matter who you talk to. And guess what? They were all raised on this stuff. Everybody loves coffee. But we don't just have coffee. We have coffee, we have tea, we have oatmeal, we have, chocolate. We have all kinds of beverages that people actually enjoy. So I gotta tell you, this program is one of the easiest ones that I get to actually promote because it's a beverage that people already love, but the pay plan is so high. It outranks every single other company out there. So far, are you guys understanding what I'm putting out here? Let me make this very simple for you. The residual comes on a monthly basis after the 6th week. The first 6 weeks, they don't pay you the 20%. After the 6 weeks, on the 7th week, then every time this person's auto ship is up, you're gonna get a commission. Now, this is the way this works. How many weeks are in a month? 4 weeks. So on week number 1, somebody says, I wanna buy this product. Week number 2, somebody says, I wanna buy this product. Week number 3, somebody else says, I wanna buy this product. And then week number 4, right? Okay, so what happens is this. On week number 1, the next month, when this person's month is up, they actually buy the product, you get a commission. On week number 2, when this person's product purchase is up, they buy the product, you get a commission. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Same thing for week number 3, and also same thing for week number 4. So every month, every single week, somebody signs up and gets involved. A month later, they gotta do their auto ship. If it happened after the 7th week, then guess what? It's gonna go in the residual binary. This one's paid from 10 to 15%, as you just saw here. Let me give you an example. Our binary just got a raise. We actually were paying a maximum of $7,500 on a weekly basis on the residual binary. Today, we raised that to $10,000. You remember that? It used to be $7,500? Now it's $10,000. Every week, the maximum you can make, just off of this one check alone. So I'm gonna just focus on this one here. The monthly residual binary. Forget about all the other bonuses. You sign up people, this and that, whatever. Your business is matured. You're in with us for about 6 months to a year, and everybody's buying monthly. And as a matter of fact, it keeps on growing. Here's what happens. Every single week, when they make their purchase, you're gonna get a commission. So if every week a lot of people signed up, a lot of commission is gonna come towards you. The maximum you can get paid is how much? 10,000. If you matured your business with us on your first business center, how many weeks are in a month?
4.
10,000 times 4 is how much? 40,000 a month. But check this out. When you climb to the positions in the company, when you get above triple diamond, the company gives you a business center that you can work to maximize your income. This means that when you're working with us, you actually get a second business center. And what happens is this: everything that was on your left is now your left, all of it, and you get to build your new right. So you start working with a new person, and you start beginning a new business center. So everything that you started with, left and right, is now your old left. So you keep that volume, but you now work freshly new with some new person, and you start building below them. And you maximize it to a total of 10,000 more on that business center. So business center number 2 can max out to 10,000. But the company doesn't stop there. When you get to another position, you get a third business center. And now everything that was on this side becomes your new left, and now you get to start a new right, and you start another business center. Currently, I have my first and my second, so does my wife. So we both have business center number 1, business center number 2. And I'm saying this only to let you know that it is doable, because it's taken us 3 years. And let me tell you, if you plan to retire in 5, with what we've done, I can show you guys that we actually have done it. You guys can do it too. I'm just here because I love this place. I love the owner, I love the concept, I love the company. I mean, you guys know, $1.7 million, which one of you guys would not like retire already? You would, seriously. I mean, if you're getting my checks, you probably would not come back. If I show you what's in my pocket, you'd be like, what are you doing here? You know, 10 o'clock at night almost, and you're still here. But I love this business, and the reality is, I love what I'm up to, which is helping other people and transformation in your life. But I gotta tell you, I'm also in it for $1 million a month, because my goal has changed. It's no longer 100,000, 170 a month, it's now $1 million a month. And to do that, I have to make a lot of people that are with us get to 500,000, 700,000 a month. You guys get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not just me, it's everybody. Yeah. Now, you get to another position, and guess what happens? The company gives you your last business center number 4. Everything that was on this side now becomes your old left, and you begin a brand new right. So guess what? That means that you get 4 business centers. You can maximize them at 10,000 a week. In 4 weeks a month, you get 40,000 per business center. 40,000 times 4 is how much? 160,000. So you literally, in the USA, can make $160,000 a month, maximizing all 4 business centers just on the residual that this company pays off of the $50 that everybody's buying, or $100 or whatever, of their monthly coffee. But you can do this in every country we are in. Woo. And we're in 10 countries right now. So let's say you maximize all 10 countries, because we already got checks from Peru, Colombia, Mexico, Ecuador, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Canada. Let's say you maximize all 10 countries, and you're getting 10,000 a month from them too. 160,000 times 10 countries is 1,600,000 a month. So this is what's going to blow your brain away completely. You multiply this number times 12. I can only teach you how to make 19,200,000 a year with Ghetto Life on the residual monthly income only. Now, and I gotta say this, there is the potential of this. And once again, it's not like a pie in the sky someday maybe. It's like really it's there. And all it takes is doing exactly what you're doing right now, getting started into your business. And that's why I said, thoughts are things, man. I got friends of mine that are still at the club. I told you guys I'm 48. They're still wearing the same disco suit they come back in. So their thoughts are something completely different than mine. You know what I mean? Your thoughts are things. It's what is in your brain that is going to appear. It is what you're thinking about is going to, emerge in your life. So it's going to surface tomorrow. And if what you're thinking about isn't what you want, start thinking about some different things. Because this is where you really get to go, oh my God, I can expand my life. I mean, literally, I can make this happen. Yes, and guess what? You're not alone. You're with the group. in a company that's got 125,800 square foot, 2 buildings with a laboratory and a training center and some Latino guys teaching it for you. Yeah, and from Mexico. And pretty sure my friend is in, listen, you like that? Sign up.
Nice.
That's it. I mean, you don't have to do much other than just sign up. You know, and you master doing that, sign up in 10 countries.
That's right.
Now, imagine this, you drive or you fly, you fly, let's say to Mexico or Ecuador. Guess what you're gonna encounter? It's called the colonial mentality. Remember how the Spaniards went and conquered?
Yes.
Guess what? You guys go over there, especially you, because you got this long hair going. You get in front of the stage and you start talking, right? Or you guys speak perfect English. People that say, I want to sign up with her. Yo quiero conmigo porque hablo inglés en Estados Unidos. Like, they want you because you're from the USA. It's like, you want me? No, you look like me. That's crazy. When we went to Victoria, we had some friends that were, Asian guys that came from Malaysia. They were surrounded by people. Can I get your number? Can I get your number? It's crazy. I mean, you think that it's hard doing the business here. When you go, you're like, this is so simple. Literally, you can invite people to a location over there in any country of the world and just show up. If you're like, I get to work with you directly, and you're from the USA, sign me up. I don't care what this is. Give me the big plan. Just like that.
That's right.
Guys, this is so simple. This is not rocket science. People are looking for folks from here to give them an opportunity over there.
That's right.
And guess what? Universities, schools, the majority of the folks in Latin America have gone to university. I mean, their families literally kill themselves to get their kids to college. They're very positive, motivated, and they're all business oriented. It's amazing. You go there, everybody has a little business. They got something going. And you come up with this, like coffee, you drink it every day. Yeah, we sell this thing. It's amazing. I want to get to another one really quick, really fast. The 4% goes like this. Every month, the company pays a lot of stuff. I got no 12 minutes. 50% is paid out, 50% is kept. Of what's paid out, I just want you guys to know the breakdown, okay? Really quick. Upfront bonuses are paid. Upfront binary is paid. And also the residual is paid. But 4% is separated right away and put into a pie. This pie is divided evenly, okay? And whatever is left over is called the matching bonus. That's why this is called a floating bonus, because sometimes we pay a lot of residual and a lot of upfront bonuses, so this bonus actually gets bigger and gets smaller. It goes between 2 to 10%. So if you qualify for the matching bonus, then you know that it comes from this particular space, which is actually a floating bonus depending on how much is paid out. But the one I love the most is this 4%. Because out of every country of the world, that 4% is yanked out of the sales that were made that week and put into this pie. And you get a piece of that pie, depending on this. You have to be triple diamond, and then you have to have helped someone, to help someone, to help someone, to help someone. Someone in that leg reach to the position of diamond. It doesn't have to be yours personally, it could be anybody below. It could be somebody on level 300, if they're diamond, then that whole leg qualifies. And what's cool about it is this, any diamond you have on a qualified leg, you get a share of this pie.
Nice.
Yes, so if this pie is 100,000 and is divided among 100 pieces for 100 diamonds that are out there, and you got 5 of them, how much is your check? 5,000 a week. This is an awesome, awesome, awesome split. Believe me, it's gonna get even better because they made the qualification a little higher. Also, I explained to you right now where the matching bonus comes from, which is this space right here called the floating bonus. And all of this stuff that I showed you right now, everything gets paid from the personal enrollment tree. The only thing paid out for the binary is the upfront binary, and in 7th week, the monthly residual binary. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Very simple. You get the trips and the bone and the trip for platinum and the trip for diamond. When you actually qualify for it, it's a payment you get to go to. And yeah, I covered everything else.
Nice.
I want to tell you guys to please go home and do some homework for me tonight. This week's homework is very simple. Think about your thoughts. okay? We talked about your goals, very different than your thoughts, because your goals are just something you're gonna strive for. Your thoughts are things that are present on a daily basis. Just think about what your thoughts are and start massaging them, turning them into something completely different, something that you wanna create. You see, you get to design your life. If I was to ask you guys, now the camera's gone, he's gone, right? Because he keeps rushing me. If I was to ask you guys to design a Mona Lisa here, could you do it?
No.
No, because it's still full of stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I want you guys to do this. Set it aside. All your thoughts that you have up here, when you do this homework, grab them all, say thank you very much, set them aside. When you do that, what's present?
Blank canvas.
Nothing.
Blank canvas.
Blank. What can you create where there's nothing?
Everything.
Everything in the world is through your access. You can have everything and anything you ever wanted in life. All you have to do is design it. So if thoughts are things, begin to create some new ones. Write some of them down. Remember what I said, when you write, it actually becomes more real for you. Write some of these thoughts down as to what you want. Now that we've already talked about ways of being, write some of those ways of being down. You already wrote down your goals. Now start writing down the thoughts that are gonna get you to those goals. Think ahead. Think 5 years from now. What do you look like? And write this down. What do you look like 5 years from now, having the money that you want? You're looking sexy now. Right. What do you look like 5 years from now, having all the goals already accomplished? What did it take you 4 years from now to get to 5 years from now? Think about what that would, something, thoughts are things, think about what that would have taken. Then you go, what would it look like 3 years from now to get to what 4 years from now looked like to get to what 5 years from now would have accomplished? Then you go back further and start thinking, what would it look like 2 years from now to have gotten to where you were 3 years, 4 and 5 years from now? What would it look like for you to have been there a year from now? In other words, a year from now, what does it look like? What should you have done to have gotten there? So guess what you just did? You made a roadmap to your 5-year goal. And you haven't even completed the 5 years yet. Have you guys seen me walking around with a smile on my face?
Nice.
That's because I know I'm gonna make $1 million a month.
Okay.
I already saw it. And I know what I gotta do every day to make it happen. Cause I did this exercise. I'm telling you, it's like walking around with a deck of cards and you got the cards in your hand and you know what? You got 4 aces. I don't have a poker face, so if I see this, I got all you guys, I got 4 aces. That's how I live my life, because I know what it looks like.
Nice.
This is a cool practice, guys, seriously. And you can do this with your family, with your husband, with your wife, with your kids. This is the way to do it. Don't just think about, what do I want 5 years from now? Okay, no, really go at it. Thoughts are things. Think about what it took to get there 4 years. What it took to get there after the 3rd year. What it took to get there after the 2nd, after the 1st year. And you're gonna begin to develop this exercise that's gonna actually help you make better goals, faster goals, and obtain them quicker. We'll get into that next time, but not next week. 2 weeks from now, right, Val?
Yeah.
Next week, they still meet, but I'm not here, because we're gonna go do something else. Okay? So, thank you guys, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
God bless you.